Hey, welcome to My Math Lesson 2. Today we're going to talk about reading and writing multi-digit numbers. So if we want to go ahead and look at our paper, it says place value charts show the value of each digit. A group of three digits is called a period. Now, we might say that a period is used in English class, language arts, but it's also used in math. So it's every set of three numbers. So commas separate the periods, and at the end of each comma, we say the name of the period. So let's look at the example here. It says scientists found that a Goonie bird once traveled 24,983 miles in just 90 days. We're going to use our place value chart to read the number of miles that the Goonie bird traveled. So the place value chart right here shows 24,983. Okay, so down here in the place value chart, you see they copied the numbers 24983. And I always like to say we can start backwards when we're putting a number in a place value chart because we know that the very last number is the ones. It goes in the ones category. So we put that number in there, 24,983. So the comma is after the thousands period. So we're going to look here. We're going to read that number right there. So the first number that we see is 24, right? So 24, and then we say thousand because that's the period we are in. So it's 24,000, and then we read the next part, which is 983. So the Goonie bird traveled 24,000, comma, 983 miles. Okay? So there are different ways to write numbers. So standard form or numbered names. So standard form would be 24,983. That's standard form right there. Okay. And then we're also going to talk about expanded form today and word form. Okay. So word form is that right there. And then we're going to go ahead here in a little bit and show you expanded form as well. So let's go ahead and go to the next page. Let me erase everything that's on there. And we'll get going. So sorry, it's taking a couple seconds here. Okay. So let's look up here at example 2. It says the population of Botswana is about 1,882,000. That's a big number. So we're going to write this number in standard form today. Standard form, expanded form, and word form. So we're going to use the place value chart over here to show us the place of each digit. And remember, I said we can start backwards when we're putting numbers in the place value chart. So I see that it goes 0, 0, 0, and then 2, 8, 8, 1. So I have 7 digits there, just like up here, 7 digits, and I'm going to put them in the place value chart. So now in order to read this, we say each number in a period. So you can see there's one number in the millions period. So I would say 1 million. Then I would read this whole number right here. So that's 882,000. And there's nothing in the ones period, so I don't have to say anything else. So I can say 1,882,000. So what we just had right there, it's written in standard form, okay? So, and we're going to show you here again, we're going to rewrite this. So there's my 1 goes right there, comma, 8, 8, 2, that's 882,000, and there's no value of the ones period there. So that's 1,882,000. So we also can write it in expanded form. An expanded form I know you guys talked about a little bit in 3rd grade, okay, but it's been a while ago. So expanded form is where we write each digit followed by a bunch of zeros. So I always start now at the front when I'm doing expanded form. So the very first number that I have is the 1. So I have a 1, and then I would count how many spaces are behind it. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to add 6 zeros. Okay. My very next digit that I have is an 8. So I'm going to put my 8 in there. And how many zeros follow this 8 right here? How many zeros go after that 8? Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to have to add 5 zeros in there. Make sure I have my comma. Okay. Now, my next digit, once again, is another 8. So it would be this 8 right here. And how many zeros go behind it? 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can see they did that for us. Okay. Then I got to go to my next number. So my next number after that 8 is the 2. So I'm going to write my 2 right here. And how many zeros are after it? 1, their spots are 3. So I would put 1, 2, 3 with my comma. Now, you might say, well, I got to keep going. And normally we would. But today, since all these next spots, these are all zeros. And we know that zeros have very little value to them. So my expanded form is 1 million plus 800,000 plus 80,000 plus 2,000. Okay? The next one says, write the number in word form. Ooh, this is the hardest one because you people always say, well, am I writing the numbers right? Am I writing the words right? Well, right now, I'm not too worried if you write the numbers correctly spelling-wise, but we have to get the right value and meaning in there. So I'm going to say this number is 1 million, and we go back up here and see that it's 882,000. So this is written in word form. 1,882,000. So this is word form. So there's 3 types of ways to write numbers. Standard form, which is the number itself. Expanded form, which is where we expand it out, make each number have value. And then word form, where we write it out using words. Okay, let's go on down a little bit here. So it says write each number in standard form. So we're going to write the number out using standard form, so just using digits here. So our first number, we have to read it. And as we're reading this number, we want to also make sure we hear it in our head. So I hear 349,000, comma, 25. So I know that there's a set of 3 numbers, because I see a comma, and then I know there has to be another set of 3 numbers. So let's just focus on this number right here, 349,000. So when I hear 349, I know that I can put a 3, a 4, and a 9. That's 349. Now I also know that it's in the thousands, period. So I would say 349,000. Now my next number is 25. So this one's a little more challenging because 25 is just 2 digits. So I could put 25 here, but then I have this empty spot. And if I would put a 0 there, that would look like 250. So I know that's not right. So let me get rid of that here. I have to make it 25. So when I make it 25, I know that 25 comes at the end. So what's this? Would have to be a 0. So if I look at it, it's 349,025. Okay? Ooh, this next one. 400,000 plus 90,000 plus 2,000 plus 800 plus 10 plus 4. There's many ways we could do this. We could add those numbers up. And that's probably what we should do, but we have to make sure we line our numbers up when we're doing this. So this one's a little more challenging, and I'm going to have to try to write the numbers as best as I can. So I'm going to write them down here. So I would write 400, comma, 1,000, and then below I want to line up my commas. So it'd be 90,000, and then I would have 2,000. Now I don't have a comma in the next one, so I just go over one spot. 800, and then I have 10, and then I have 4. So now when I add all those up, I go columns. So all those zeros plus 4 is a 4. All those zeros plus 1 is a 1. All those zeros plus 8 is an 8. All those zeros plus 2 is a 2. 0 plus 9 is 9. And 4 plus nothing is 4. So if I were to write that number out, it would be 4, 9, 2, comma, 8, 1, 4. So 492,814. Okay? Okay. So we are back now, and we're going to look at the next couple of ones where we have to write them in expanded form and word form. Now you're going to have to hang with me because I'm trying to use the mouse to write here, but we will get it in here. So we're going to go first in expanded form. So expanded form right here. So I always start with the first number. So the first digit is a 4, and I would count how many zeros are going to go behind that. Definitely 5 zeros behind it. Put my comma after the third spot, and then I'm going to add. Then I'm going to go to my next digit, which is a 9. If I go with 9 here, I put a 9, and then I have to count how many zeros go behind it. And this one would have 4 zeros behind it. Then I look at my next digit, which is a 0. And since it's a 0, we don't have to worry about it. We're going to skip that. And then, I'm sorry, the next digit's a 2. Sorry. I'm going to put my 2 down. And how many zeros are behind it? 3. 1, 2, 3. And I'll make sure my comma's in there. I'm going to put plus. Now, I'm going to look. Now it's the 0. And since it's a 0, I don't put anything in. So I'm going to skip that one. I'm going to look at my next digit, which is a 3. So I'm going to put a 3 right here. And then how many spots are behind that would be 1. And then I go to my last digit, which is a 2. And since it's the last digit, it just stays at a 2. Okay? So that's 400,000 plus 90,000 plus 2,000 plus 30 plus 2. Now, we have to say that number in our head, and we can say 492,032. And if I do that, I would write that out in word form. 492,000, comma, 32. Okay? I'm not going to make you write it out right now because I don't have enough room for me to write it out. I'll show you on the board, but we can just try that. Let's look at the next one. Let's do this one in expanded form too. So remember, we're starting with the first digit right there. So my first digit is a 0. I mean a 3. Man, sorry. So I'm going to look behind it. How many spots do I have? 6. So I'm going to put my comma, and I'm going to put 3, 4, 5, 6 zeros. So then I'll look at my next digit. My next digit's a 0, so I don't worry about it. I'm going to go on to my next digit. So after my 0 is a 2, so I'm going to say plus 2. Now, how many zeros behind it? 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to put 4 zeros behind it. So I'll put my plus sign. My next digit behind the 2 is an 8. So I'm going to put my 8 in there and count 1, 2, 3 zeros. So put 1, 2, 3 zeros in there. Put my plus sign. After my 8, I have a 0, so I don't have to worry about it. Then I have another 0, so I don't have to worry about it. And finally, I just have my last digit, which is a 2. So this one would be 3 million plus 20,000 plus 8,000 plus 2. So if I were to write this out in words, it would be 3,028,002. 3,028,002. Okay, let's move on to the next page. And now we are ready for our independent practice. So this is a time where you can practice these numbers and digits, and then we can see what answers you come up with. So you can go ahead and practice on the independent practice. Look at all your questions. Okay, you have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Why don't you try those 7 problems first, and then we'll come back and have the answers in there to see how you did. So go ahead, take your time here. You can pause the video and check your work. Okay, so you can check your work with what I just put down there and see how you did. Hopefully we have all the right answers, and we can go from there. Now, down below for questions 12, 13, 12 and 13, I believe it is, we just have to write them in word form and expanded form. Okay, word form and expanded form. So go ahead and try those and pause your video right now. And then after you've tried them, you can come back and see if you have the correct answers as well. Okay, so if you're checking your work here, you can see that we have on the first one 400,000 plus 80,000 plus 5,000 plus 800 plus 30. And if we were to write that in word form, it would say 485,000, comma, 830. And on the bottom one, we have 3 million plus 20,000 plus 9,000 plus 200 plus 50 plus 1. And if we were to write that in word form, it would be 3 million, comma, 29,000, comma, 251. Okay, So I'm not going to make you do the backside today, page 4 of this, number page 20 in all reality. But we are going to have homework for this evening. So your homework tonight is going to be uh, pages 21 and 22. Okay, you're going to be doing the same things that we just did here in class today. And you can go ahead and check those out and write that in your study buddy. So math 20, I'm sorry, pages 21 and 22. And make sure you bring that back tomorrow. See you guys.